Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for February 23rd. We're going to take a look at the US Japanese yen pair first. This pair gapped on the open, then retraced the gap and then continued to move higher. It did close up. Currently, the pair is moving sideways. The bias is definitely to the upside. We are expecting this pair to move as high as 95.76 and as low as 91.66. Look for some resistance around 94.93. Look for support around 94.19. Now I'll switch into the Euro USD pair. This particular pair gapped down on the open, retraced, moved very high, and then came cratering back down to close lower, almost on its low. We are expecting this pair to move as high as 131.26 and as low as 125.59. Look for some resistance around 127.25 and look for support around 126.40. This pair is moving sideways and the bias is sideways currently. Looking at the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair gapped down on the open, then moved higher. Did pull back significantly prior to the close, but still closed higher. We are expecting this pair to move potentially as high as 1.4822 and as low as 141.56. Look for some resistance around 145.68 and look for support around 143.60 in this particular pair. This pair, for the most part, is moving sideways, and the bias is sideways as well. Now, looking at the US Swiss, this pair gapped up on the open and closed up. We are expecting it to move as high as 117.96 and possibly as low as 113.57. Look for some resistance around 117.33. and look for support around 116.50 in this pair. This pair is moving sideways and the bias is sideways currently. Now, if you recall from Friday's session, we had an overextended bar, or Thursday going into Friday. Our pair did, during Friday's session, we created an overextended bar. In today's session, we did complete that particular move. That particular move from today produced 64 pips. Pretty much tagged the close of the previous week's Friday's low. Essentially, it tagged it right here, and we entered at the close at the closing price. What am I looking for during this next session? Well, let's take a look at what occurred in the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair created a swing trade to the upside instead of the downside, looking for it to move through that point. Now that point is 95.18, so I'm buying at 95.18, looking to exit this particular trade. You really have to zoom out to get this exit, but it's at 95.90. Zoom in actually. So looking to exit there. That's a potential profit of 72 pips. Use a risk to reward ratio of 1-to-1. Currently, of course, this market is pulling to the downside. Well, that about does it for the charts. We do have the Swiss releasing their consumption indicator for January. That's being released at 4 a.m. The previous was 1.15. There's no consensus moving into this tomorrow. The U.S. has the Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke testifying before the Senate at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That will likely move the markets depending on what he says. And the U.S. also has their house pricing purchase index for the fourth quarter being released at 10 a.m. also. And the consensus is that it has decreased from negative 1.8% to negative 2.0%. We also have the New Zealand dollar releasing the Reserve Bank of New Zealand releasing their 2-year inflation expectations at 4:45 p.m. tomorrow, and their previous rate was 2.7%. No consensus on this either. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.